Stockton's one of those cities where I really believe it either makes you or breaks you.
For me, I just been a mud villain since a kid. Like, that's just what I've known since a young age. And for me to rep that and carry it on my back, like, that's important to me. You know 100%. What I'm saying? Like, it ain't just about being from Stockton or being from Mudville. Like, I really rep for my city and where I'm from because I'm proud to be from here. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know this, but every design that I put out stands for something. Like, it's either something that I went through in my life, something that I was coping with, or some kind of message that I was trying to put out, or whatever it may be. Like, everything that I put out had something that backed it. You know what I'm saying? It told some kind of story, whether or not the person knew about it. It might have just been like a catchy slogan for somebody. But for me, it was like, it had depth to it. I'm not just all about my clothing brand. Like, I'm about inspiring. I'm about motivating people. I'm about showing people that you can come from the streets, or you can come from this type of background, and if you put the work in, you can do it. And like you said, I'm not about an overnight success. I'm not trying to make a quick buck. I do this because I'm passionate about it. That's why I don't trip off the stress. That's why I don't trip off the L's. That's why I don't trip off this person not following me, or this person leaving me on red, or this person not fucking with it. That's fine. I am working on eventually. I know I said I never probably would, just because I've always been comfortable in what I'm doing, but I do want.
What's up, Raza? Welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Roman, and today we got a special episode for you guys. Mr. Jimmy Choose, aka owner, founder of Mudvilleclothing, coming from straight out of the 209. Jimmy, thank you so much for pulling up. Thank you so much for blessing me with the merch. I really appreciate all the game and gems you dropped on this episode regarding business, life, entrepreneurship, sales, consistency. Honestly, it's very motivating, very inspiring to have somebody with your background do what you do and make it out the mud. And real quick, let me know what you guys thought about the intro. Something new, something a little bit different. Big shout out to my boy Tenchen for supplying the Stockton footage, and shout out to my boy Extreme Jose for the clips of me and the merch. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Jimmy, bienvenido, bro.
What's going on?
We got Mudvilleclothing up in the house.
How's it going, man? Yeah.
Stockton's very own.
You know it. Shout out to everybody that support me, man. I'm glad to be here. Appreciate you bringing me on. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to it.
Thank you, man. So Stockton is what I think of is Lodi's big brother.
Right.
like you know, we right here, we paisano. Basically, you from Stockton, you know Lodi, and vice versa. And Mudvilleclothing, bro, man. So for people listening, and even like me, can you kind of give us a breakdown first on what is Mudville? Like, what does that mean? And what does Mudville like stand for?
So basically what Mudville stems from is before Stockton was actually incorporated as Stockton, when it began, it had a lot of different nicknames. You know what I'm saying? Port City, obviously, because the port.
Is that the oldest name? Or is it Mudville the oldest?
Well, they kind of all went in hand with each other. It just depends on who you really talk to.
Got you.
Like, people had different nicknames for it.
Got it.
Whatever it is that, you know, they was into or whatnot. But yeah, Mudville, it's crazy for me because now that I have the brand Mudvilleclothing, I've always called Stockton Mudville since a kid. I mean, you're probably gonna laugh at me, but I still have an old email, a Yahoo email from like when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old that has Mudville in it. So it was like, it was destined for me before I even knew I was gonna ever do something with it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just been a mud villain since a kid. Like, that's just what I've known since a young age. And for me to rep that and carry it on my back, like, that's important to me. You know
100%.
what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just about being from Stockton or being from Mudville. Like, I really rep for my city and where I'm from because I'm proud to be from here. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically where that all started from, you know?
Damn, bro. I wish we had people out here repping Lodi like they do in Stockton, man. It's almost like, man, bro, it's almost like we're embarrassed, bro. Like, we be, bro, it'd be our own people, our own neighbors, like, talking down on Lodi, but Stockton got a lot of pride.
We do, but, you know, we got a lot of people that are from our city, too, that I hear, you know, keep that negative cloud over it. And I think that's the problem, and that's one of the reasons why I go so hard to rep for it, because we get such a bad rap with all the negativity that surrounds it. So, you know, I'm trying to bring like
the
that positive light to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of creative people that come out of our city, and, you know, if we could just shed light on that and put that out there, you know, maybe we can give ourselves a better rap, you know?
No, that's facts. Stockton is notorious. If anybody's from Cali, you've heard of Stockton, one of the biggest crime infested cities ever, right? But there's something in the water, or in this case in the mud,
right?
Because artists, rappers, brands, fighters, you guys got all kinds of talent up in there.
Right.
It's a city where if you could come make it out of there, it's very inspiring, because Stockton's one of those cities where I really believe it either makes you or breaks you. And for you could come out with this Mudvilleclothing and have you have a culture.
Right.
I've noticed when looking into you and what you stand for in your brand, you have your message is very powerful, and it resonates with a lot of people, because a lot of people are like you. I don't know why we're in this day and age where negativity is always like the spotlight. But there's good things happening everywhere, but we like to highlight the negatives, the bad, all the like hooligan stuff.
Right.
But I think it's really focused to do what you do and then focus on the positives and look at the bigger message.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been my focus ever since I came out with it, because, you know, we have a lot of segregation in our city as far back as I can remember, you know, with the different sets, different hoods, different sides of town. And when I came out with my brand, like, for me, something that was so huge for it was to see different hoods rocking my shit, especially people that typically wouldn't get along with each other. You know what I'm saying? And for them to see somebody else that they would normally have fun with rocking my gear, and then be like, oh, okay, well, they fuck with Jimmy. He's cool then. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there not be problems like that. Somebody might look at that like, okay, and what? But that, to me, that's huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody could have mutual respect out of respect for me and what I'm trying to do, and it be mutual love, like, that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, that just sets a positive tone that shows that, you know, things can be done in a positive light that set the way for something good, you know, and that's what I stand for, you know.
I need to bring it back real quick. I love that you brought that up, because that goes hand in hand with the culture, because I thought about what you said, because you used to throw parties,
right?
And this is a quick shout out because I listened to your podcast with Ink Bully. Shout out to them. I saw them doing their thing, and I watched the whole episode, and it was fire. And one thing you were saying is very similar to this, is that you used to throw a lot of parties, and you had people from both sides pull up, but you seen them wear your stuff, and when they seen each other wearing their stuff, it was like automatically like a bridge to
it's unity.
There we go. Yeah, unity, 100%. And I thought how powerful. It's not just a shirt; it's a message. And I kind of related it almost to wrestling. Mm-hmm. And this is where, like, I like, to me, is kind of like, for me, is WWE. Mm-hmm. I'm a wrestling fan. Gotcha. And people don't really like rock that just to rock it. If you wear a wrestling shirt, typically you're going to be into wrestling. So when I'm in the streets and I see somebody with like a John Cena, Rey Mysterio shirt, I'm like, oh shit, man, you watch wrestling.
Know it's
I don't, without even knowing the person, no words prior, you're just like, hey man, that's cool. Mm-hmm. And then it just maybe sparks a conversation.
Right, exactly.
And with this whole Mudville, you have so many designs and merch now available, or that you've put out, that I'm pretty sure I see the M. I see the M everywhere. I see the S. Your designs, they're scattered now.
And it's crazy too that you mentioned that, because all my designs, and there's a lot of them. Like, you can hop on my website and you don't even see half of them, because everything that's sold out, I typically will remove from the website. But if you go back in my Instagram and go like deep into it, you'll see how much content I put out. And the crazy thing is that a lot of people don't know this, but every design that I've put out stands for something. Like it's either something that I went through in my life, something that I was coping with, or some kind of message that I was trying to put out, or whatever it may be. Like everything that I put out had something that backed it. You know what I'm saying? It told some kind of story, whether or not the person knew about it. It might have just been like a catchy slogan for somebody. But for me, it was like it had depth to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I could sit here and you can bring up a shirt and I can tell you like what I was going through or what I was dealing with at that moment. Kind of like artists when they write a song.
Yeah.
When they put a song out, like you think, okay, that's a dope song. People relate to it, what have you. But that person was probably really going through something at that time where they put that on, you know, on paper. Well, for me, I put that on a design on a t-shirt or whatever it may be, because that's what I was dealing with at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So it comes hand in hand with everything people do as far as their creativity, you know?
That's beautiful. A song, your design. It also, I can even bring it back to like a tattoo. All my tattoos, they're just pictures or just at face value. It's just like, oh, cool,
Right.
cool rose or cool clock or, you know, like cool image. But to me, it means a lot more. And for you to say that, like, that must make you really proud then. That must make you really proud.
Because, I mean, just looking back on it, sometimes I'm like, man, like I really put a lot out. I really been, you know, putting some work in on this. You know, sometimes we get so wrapped up in what we doing. You get busy, you know, I'm sure like you do podcasts, you have a guest on, you focus on that guest, you doing whatever it is that you're doing with that person, researching. But once you have established yourself and you're doing something for so long, sometimes you got to take a step back and look at what you've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? And be like, man, like I'm doing something positive, but I've came a long way. Because, you know, sometimes when we jump in the game, whatever it is we doing, we doubt ourselves at moments. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it is we're going through something or something ain't moving the way we wanted to, or, you know, we're not getting that, I don't want to say acceptance, but the, you know, the response that we want from certain people, we tend to be critical of what we're doing and like, man, like, should I really keep doing this? Like, you know, is this really working? But when you take a step back for a moment and you look back at where you started and what you've accomplished thus far, like that's all the motivation and inspiration you truly need to keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be proud of what you're doing, proud of yourself. Like you don't need acceptance from other people. You keep doing what you're doing and focusing on your goals, that's going to come regardless. You know what I'm saying? So,
as long as you're doing 1% better every day,
amen.
You should have nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
As long as you tried your best. I learned there's two types of people in this world. There's a person that everything matters, and there's a person that says nothing matters.
Right.
And I used to be a person that whatever, what does it matter? Who cares?
Right.
Now I say everything matters. And even if there's nobody present to watch me do what I'm doing, I know at the end of the day, God is watching and my soul watches. So, and at the end of the day, it's all about intention.
Yep.
Even though it might not make sense to whoever is seeing from the outside, best believe I'm moving with the best intentions. And I feel like we're our biggest critics due to social media nowadays. Because it's a toxic thing that we see everybody's W's, but nobody ever posts their L's. If we kind of normalize posting our L's, I don't think we'd be so hard on ourselves, but we're never going to do that because we always want to be seen in the best light.
Exactly.
We always want to be seen in the best angle. We always try to like do our best. Like, I'll be honest, I cut out like my stuttering sometimes or my mess ups because I'm trying to portray myself in the best light. That's just putting myself out there. But I also, but like something I don't do that you guys can like probably see in the back is my older videos, how much improvement has gone from the first one to this 10th one.
Right.
I want to leave those to see. Even though you can look back at anything you do, and if you're honest with yourself, you could be like, I could have done that better. I could have done this. I could have done that. But as long as you're moving forward, I feel like that's all that's
there's
about.
There's nothing wrong with critiquing yourself. There's nothing wrong with going back and looking at where you were at one point in time and realizing where you could have made these changes, or that's all a part of growth. You know, there's not a single successful person that I know that didn't take L's or didn't do something in the beginning that wasn't the proper way or correct way to do it, and learn from it and grow. Like that's a whole part of the success journey. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to take them L's. You have to learn from whatever it is that you did when you started. That's a part of it.
It's the normalizing the failures and the L's, and just dealing with stress. I noticed, like you said, the most successful people I know are under immense stress. But
Understatement.
Understatement.
Yeah.
But I think I wouldn't want to live no other way.
Right.
Because my goals are so big, and
your dreams, and aspirations.
100%. They're like, if I tell them to people, I'd sound crazy.
Right. It's crazy that you said that, because I've had this conversation with people so many times. Like, I've had opportunities where, you know, I can throw some merch to, you know, some big name people to, you know, rock my shit and, you know, get that clout off of them. But to me, it's like, I want my love to be organic.
Yes.
I want people to look at my shit or see what I'm about and be like, you know what? I fuck with him because of his message. I fuck with him because of what he's doing. I respect his movement. That's why I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Not on some like, oh, I want to rock his shit because I seen so-and-so wearing it. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if they do, that's cool. I'm not going to say like, you know, I don't appreciate that too. But my goal is to build it organically, in the sense that people rock it and they fuck with it because they resonate with whatever message or whatever it is I'm doing at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, if you notice, you know, since you've been following me, I put out a lot of messages often, like inspirational quotes. I have my whole like thing that I do with my Mudvillations, where I do it daily, where I try to do it daily, but I always try to put out, some sort of positive message, or some sort of motivation, or something that people can relate to and feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just all about my clothing brand. Like, I'm about inspiring. I'm about motivating people. I'm about showing people that you can come from the streets, or you can come from this type of background, and if you put the work in, you can do it. And like you said, I'm not about an overnight success. I'm not trying to make a quick buck. I do this because I'm passionate about it. That's why I don't trip off the stress. That's why I don't trip off the L's. That's why I don't trip off this person not following me, or this person leaving me on red, or this person not fucking with it. That's fine, because there's so many people on this earth that it might take me some time, but I'm going to get to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually I'm going to make my way in my route to success, that I'm going to touch bases with these people that really do fuck with it, that resonate with it, that respect it, that love it. And I'm going to get there one way or another, whether it's a slow lane or not. Like, I'm going to push for it. Point blank period.
Jimmy, I have no doubt you're going to be successful, bro. You from I think the most beautiful thing I admire, and this is anybody in business, is making something out of nothing.
Exactly.
By that I mean, like, just whatever you start, and like making it mean something. First it starts with you, and then others adapt, and they see and they follow. That was beautiful what you just said. And one thing I noticed that you do to connect with people and interact with people is not only these positive messages, but also you have models, and you said they're local mainly. You have a few sprinkled in there that have a big following, but for the majority, I feel it's like people from the city, people from the area, right? So how do you tap in with models, or do they tap in with you, or how did that come to be?
So it's a little bit of both. You know, like, at first, when I started out with the whole modeling thing, like, it was initially like people that I know personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, friends, family members, or friends of family, stuff like that. And I think as it gradually progressed, it kind of caught attention of other people, you know what I'm saying? So they wanted to, you know, dabble in it or whatever. But I do reach out to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll jump in Instagram and I'll search hashtags, you know what I'm saying, of relatable things, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll look in hashtags Mudville or Out the Mud or something, you know what I'm saying? Or even local areas, and I'll try to find people that might relate to what it is that I'm pushing or what I represent, and see if, you know, they be interested in. Like you said, you know, you get a lot of no's, and that's cool. It's not for everybody, you know what I'm saying? But everybody that does take a chance on me and experience the whole process of me doing a shoot with them, like, it's not just about, me trying to put out content all the time, because that's a big thing with marketing, obviously, as a business. But for me, it's like I like showcasing like a diversity of people from around the area.
And I see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter if, your 30s, your 20s, like right now, like it's been big with like high school students. Like, they've really been resonating with my brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did a shoot with somebody that was in high school, and then after that, they posted it, and then, I got other kids hit me up like, hey, if you ever need somebody, whatever. And it's like, to me, that's dope, because I got people that want to be a part of something, and I got a whole movement going that if you want to roll with it, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to bring people up with me. Like, if you're trying to get into modeling, or, you just trying to do something tight to say you did it, like, let's go. I'm all about, trying to bring everybody along the journey with me. And if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. It's cool,
And I think it's really important to also connect with the younger audience. Like try to like, I feel like every business should like have a niche for the most part, like a group they focus on. But if you can relate to youngsters, the OGs, and the in between, I think you're set for a strong presence in anything.
Yep. And I don't know like what it is with, doing these types of things. Like, the feeling that I get when I put people on, like, to me, that's just, it's dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people might not understand or grasp that concept, but, because there's a lot of envy, jealousy, and hate in this world.
100%.
And a lot of people don't want to give people opportunities because they might be scared that they gonna pass them up. It don't cost me nothing to put somebody on, like, we supposed to be uplifting people, especially if you from my section, especially if you from my city or the surrounding areas. Like, I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody doing their thing. I don't have no kind of jealousy, hate, or envy towards anybody. Like, I feel like you get a better respect and a better like outlook if people look at you like, you know what, that's a solid dude. Like, he really about trying to help people instead of hating on people. Like, why I don't understand the concept of people hating, trying to bring you down. Like, what do you get out of it? You feel me? Like, who knows?
I gotta bring it back to I'm very thankful that you're here, because it's true. It's when you're starting off, because I've experienced it, and you've talked about it in the past, you couldn't even give away your stuff for free. Like, you couldn't even have somebody like,
it was
hey,
bad.
I just want you to rock it. And I resonated with that, because when I first started off, I only had my brother and like a friend or two that wanted to come on. And I just reach, but I don't take it personal, because at the end of the day, I can't I can't. It's business, and I gotta get when you gotta get your emotions out of it. Yep. If you really want to be a businessman, you gotta get your emotions out of it.
Separate them.
But when you said yes to me, I'm like, man, like, you're a humble ass dude, man, because at the end of the day, like, you don't need your actions show,
right?
Because like you said, if you go through his page, you'll see youngsters and kids, and then even smaller channels. You interact with everybody, and that says a lot about you and your character. And was this instilled in you just through life's journey, or your parents, or like how? There's not a lot of people like you, is what I'm trying to say. And your character speaks a lot, and I wish more people were like you, quite honestly.
I mean, first off, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot to me, because for me, character is huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, with money and power and all this stuff, like, people get places, they go far, but at the end of the day, your character is your legacy. That's what you're going to leave behind for people to remember you by. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's important. And that's something that I instill in my values that I want to leave for my kids to see, because it's important for me for not only to make my parents proud and to be like, you know what, that's my son, not because I'm successful or I make money or whatever, but because he was a good human being. You know what I'm saying? He did for people. Like, he wasn't about trying to get over on people. He wasn't about doing shady shit to people. Like, he was about genuinely helping people, you know what I'm saying? Like, to whatever the best of his ability that he can do. And for me, leaving that legacy behind and instilling that in my kids is important, because there's a lot of like messed up people that do messed up shit, and I try to tell this especially with my daughter, because you know you deal with, when they get to a certain age, the drama comes with the people around them, you know what I'm saying, and
Life starts giving you different problems.
exactly. So I really try to put into her that you're gonna have people that, you know, you put your trust in. You're gonna have people that are around you that you might think are your friends, or you might think got love for you, and they're gonna show you in the end that they don't. But don't ever let that mold who you are. Don't ever let that make you a cold person, because the world is cold. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that goes through certain types of things in their life and it makes them colder, that's just going to make the whole world cold. Without warm people, without good character, there's nothing to keep that positive shit going. And that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to show them that despite your hindrances, despite the struggles that you go through, you are what you make of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can come from that and still be a solid person. You can come from that and still do good. You can come from that and still have a good character and have values and show love to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be on some shit where, well, I've been through this, so fuck everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that's gonna do is make the world colder. You know what I'm saying? So
It reminds me to my spiritual beliefs. When life like throws shit at you, or like the worst of the worst happens, I feel like it's much more powerful to like do good from that, and not like match it and like be negative back or be mean back. So there's a lot of power and like accepting, okay, some people are gonna be not the best, but I don't have to be like that.
Right.
And for you to be instilling that into your children, and like just everybody you touch and speak to, you're gonna have a great legacy to leave behind, man.
Yeah, I'm trying, and I'm not gonna sit here and preach like I've always been like that, because boy, Lord knows, back in my day, like I was, you know. But it took a lot of like battles within myself to get to a point where I realized that, and it's crazy. Like, I've heard quotes, and can't quote me word for word, but something about you had to go through, you know, so much anger and rage to finally get to that peaceful place. And now I'm at that peaceful place. So for me, it's like, why allow other people to go through that if I can like put that out there, that message, that positive message, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all go through shit, you know, times are hard sometimes, but it's what you make it. It's really your perception and how you perceive shit on, you know, what you put out. Like,
I'm gonna bring you back real quick, and I have a question for you. What was like one big milestone you had in Mudville when you were like damn, like this is moving? Like, was it like the first time you sold like 10 pieces, or you made X amount in sales? Like, what was a big milestone for you starting off that you were like, wow, like this is getting traction?
I mean, there's been a lot of different times where things have kind of hit me where I'm like, okay, yeah, like, you know, I'm really doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's been so many little things. And the reason why I say it's so many little things is because when I started this, it was never my intention to get to where it's at right now. Like, quick little references to how I got started. Like, you know, I started my clothing brand because I made shirts for me to rock. You know what I'm saying? Because there wasn't really like nobody that I knew that really repped for Stockton as far as merch goes, you know? So that's why I started making t-shirts for myself. And then people see it, you know, oh, where'd you... And then it just took off to where I was like, okay, maybe I need to do something with it. But as time went on, since I started it, like, it's been little milestones where, you know, things would sell out in a day that I dropped. You know what I'm saying?
How many
like,
pieces, if you don't mind? Was it a dozen?
No. One of my biggest sellouts that I dropped in one day, and it all sold out in that day, minus maybe one or two pieces or something like that. I dropped a load that was like 150 units. Oh shit! Yeah,
that's a lot, bro.
And I put it on my website. That's dope. You know, and the thing about me is I'm really, at least as far as how I think I'm good at marketing and promo. So I build up anticipation for something, so people know when it's gonna come. So that way, it's like, it's like Jordans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they put out the list of all the Jordans that will come out for the next several months. Well, I kind of do something like that. I put it out there, a little teaser, like, hey, this is going to be dropping soon. Da, 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 da. As we get closer, then I'll drop a date and time, you know? So as soon as it hits, like, I have an app on my phone that tells me how many people are on my website,
Yeah.
and what they're looking at and all that. Like, as soon as I drop it, my phone goes crazy because people are on my website just, like, putting shit in their shopping cart, like, left and right, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm looking at my girl like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to process all these orders now, you know, because I'm a one-man team, you feel me? Like, a lot of people don't know this, but I do everything myself. Like, I mean,
I didn't even know that.
From my designs to marketing and promo, photo shoots, my videography, designing my website, maintaining my website, marketing, promo, all the logistics with packaging, shipping, everything is me. The only thing I don't do is print my stuff, which my boy at Eminence, shout out Garrett at Eminence Prince, that's my dog. He
Shout out to him.
best of the best. I'm gonna tell you, his slogan says it all. Quality starts here. Go fuck with my dude, man. He'll get you right if you're trying to get your brand popping. That's the man to see.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so he takes care of all my printing needs, and you know, I got a couple manufacturers too that, because I used to buy like my shirts and my hoodies from companies that sell them in bulk,
Okay.
blank,
Uh-huh.
and then they would go to the printer.
Oh, okay. Got you.
He would print on them, whatever. But now I gotten to the point to where like I have my stuff like where I pick the fabric. It's cut and sewn
Wow.
to my specs. You know what I'm saying? It has my labels sewn in on it, so it comes as a blank that was specifically made for me, and then my printer prints on it.
It's custom, man. It's not just one of these, like some people, they just like get an image, and I think on Amazon you could do this, or like this is website, you just basically Photoshop an image, and you know, it just goes out to the masses.
No.
I'm not gonna disclose his name on here, but there was a rapper I really liked, and I decided to buy some of his merch, and it was a Gildan tee, man. It was just like copy and paste, and
it's funny that you said that because we've taken some of my products and we've actually ordered hoodies and stuff from some of these big name rappers that sell their hoodies for like $120 or shirts for like $70-$80, and we've put it next to mine, and the quality just doesn't even compare.
No.
But that comes to another topic of branding. You know, you're paying for a name. You're not paying for quality.
Nah.
But when you get my stuff, you paying for quality and my
brand,
name. And that's the reason why I'm big on trying to do quality control with my stuff, because I've had instances where I've gotten stuff from people and, you know, like companies where I order t-shirts and whatever, and then I spend all this money printing it, and then it's like the quality is not
not up to par.
It's not up to my par. You feel me? Like it might be somebody else's, but to me, it's like, no, I can't do that. You know. So
and you've been in the business long enough to like know what's good and bad.
Right.
Somebody starting off, they might not be able to tell. Well, I would say it's a lot of like trial and error to find.
It is, because I wish I would have had somebody that gamed me when I started on the different types of printing, the quality of your garments, and all these things that go into it, because that's detrimental for a clothing brand.
Yeah.
You know, if you put out a product and people get it and it's not up to their par, or they feel like it's bad quality, like that falls back on you, and that could be bad for business. So that's why now it's like I had to go through those trial and errors, and I'm sure there's probably been some stuff that I sold back in my day that people probably looked at and was like, this t-shirt is not all that great, you know what I'm saying? But that comes with trial and error, you know what I'm saying? But I make the best of it now to try to make sure that whatever I put out is top notch, even if I got to spend the extra money on it, because to me, my customers are the most important. Like, you can ask anybody who's ever purchased from me, if there's ever been an issue with a shirt, you know, maybe it had a little stain or snag because it got caught on the machine.
Small
defect, whatever. Like, and they hit me like, hey, there was this wrong with it. I'm like, I'll reimburse you for that. I'll give you a refund, and I'll send you another 2 or 3 products to cover that. Just because I want to make sure that people know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's about his customer service. Like, that's number one for me, because they're the ones who made me. I wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for them, you know? So I want to make sure I keep them happy.
Damn, bro. That's... One thing I noticed, all the successful people I know, that I've had the privilege to interact with, they all put others like first. Because if it's just me, like, oh, I got their money already, your problem, like, and that's something even about business that I've learned. It's cheaper to keep a customer than it is to gain a new one, because somebody already likes you, but they have a bad experience. They're likely not going to come back.
Right.
And then to get somebody that doesn't know about you at all and then get them, that's even harder to achieve. But I kind of want to go back real quick, and this is me kind of putting you on the spot. Like, do you got like 3 tips for maybe not people that want to do clothing, but like just entrepreneurship as a whole? Like, like how you were saying you wish you had somebody that would have taught you the ways, or
a little bit of
mentoring and stuff. One, and while I give you a little bit of time to think about that, I really want to touch on the importance of marketing and staying relevant.
Right.
Because in this day and age where it's all social media, I really believe if you're not in social media, most people don't know you exist. Unless you're like a brick and mortar and you have like that traffic and that like
billboards everywhere.
Or like regulars. Okay, but most people, especially when you want to start now, you need to be on all platforms.
Yeah, it's mandatory.
And also, and you got to be posting, because I see so many accounts that they post once a month or once every other week, and in internet years, that's like almost dog years, man.
I tell people all the time, like, you have it. Consistency is key, because if you are not in people's face 24/7, they gonna forget about you. Like, plain and simple. You know, it's like touching back on musicians. They could drop a hot ass album and it's popping for however long they playing that album, but if you don't put out a backup album to follow up with that, you a has been. You yesterday's news. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've completely 100%.
It's kind of an L.
Definitely.
But so what do you got 3 tips for people?
So I would say my biggest thing, and I've been a super advocate of telling people this every time, whether it's podcasts or when people, because people reach out to me a lot on the back end that a lot of people don't know about. You know, people hit me for advice. Some of your brands that you see out there, your favorite brands, have reached out to me. You know what I'm saying? For advice.
Who? The exclusives right here.
I ain't gonna name drop, but you know what I'm saying? But
nah, I'm just saying.
My biggest thing, first and foremost, is if you just trying to make a buck, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. You have to be genuinely passionate about what it is you're trying to do. Because if you're not passionate about it, I've said this before, the minute you take your first L, you're going to throw in the towel.
Mission failed.
That's it.
We'll get 'em next time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you like, oh, shit, like, I just lost all this money. Like, nah, this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to come with the game. I don't care what business you get into or what entrepreneurship you fall into, you're going to take a L. Like, it's gonna happen. So
it's unavoidable,
right? So if you can't handle that, then, and you're not passionate about what you're doing, then you're gonna fail because you're gonna give up.
I heard this, and I'm one of those guys that likes to, when I'm at the gym, I like to hear like inspirational speeches or like or educational news about business and marketing. Right. And I heard this from Gary Vee, and I think it's cool, and because he's one of the guys I regularly listen to. He says something along the lines of like, most of you guys are like trying to win. Like, he put examples like an American football game, 21-0. You guys need to normalize winning like 24-23.
Right.
Like you guys, it's not gonna be
shutouts all the time.
It's you guys are gonna but gradually, little by little, getting up there.
Yeah, and for me, like, it's crazy that you said that, because a win for me is breaking even. It's not taking an L. You know, a lot of people think, like, they have this misconception that, oh, he owns his business, or he makes hella money, or he get into the bag like all the time. The problem is when you're the boss, when you're the owner, you putting out the bread. You know what I'm saying? So
you're the last one to get paid.
Yeah. So all that bread that comes in, or you think that's coming in, that's going right back into the business to put out the next drop. or the next 3 drops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could put out something that's like 200 units. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cost to put that out, the overhead, the packaging, the printing, you know what I'm saying, the marketing, the promo, like the merch that I give away to my models when I do the photo shoots. Like, there's a lot on the back end that people don't realize. So when stuff sells, sometimes I might sell just enough merch to where I got enough bread to like put back into the business to do the next drop and the next drop after that. I'm not sitting here, you know, raking in millions, because if I did, then I'd probably be on a whole nother level. But people don't realize, like, you know, what really goes into running a brand, like the investment that you put into it, you know.
I'm gonna relate that. I'm gonna talk to my goons and thugs real quick. I got you guys. I noticed what he just said, because this is from my homies, is like, let's say you're trapping, selling cupcakes. You buy a pound of cupcakes for 2 bands. I see a lot of these guys, they push it, make the 2 bands back, and the whatever 3-4 cupcakes left over, they eat them. And I'm like, bro, no. Sell the rest of the cupcakes. Right. So now you covered your cost, and now you got profit. And now you go to the baker and be like, hey man, can you give me a better deal now? Yeah. Like, oh, you got 3? Okay, now I could give you 2 dozen cupcakes for that 3 price. Now you reinvested, and now you can make more money.
People don't understand that.
They don't. They really, and that's where I notice a lot of people fail, because they see the money come in and they just want to go buy something.
They want to go spend it.
Yeah. And it's all about reinvesting in the business. That's another good ass tip. That's a good ass tip.
I'm
on anything.
So major with that. Like, you know, a lot of people probably seen like recently, like, and again, shout out to my dog Garrett at Eminence. I mean, ever since I've started doing business with him, like, I do business with him, but that's a good friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a lot of people that are in my life that have forced me to level up or given me inspiration to grow. It's been a lot of like people reaching out to me for inspiration or how to do this, how to do that. But that man right there, he is a business genius. Like, the game that he's given me is what has pushed me to up what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been into marketing, promo, putting my shit out there, but he's really helped me on branding myself, because the difference between having a product that, you know, does good, because, you know, you can have a dope product that does good, but the way you brand yourself is what's going to really separate you from just selling to actually becoming successful in selling. And for me, I've revamped the way that I've branded myself, like even to changing my logo to an icon, because, you know, it goes down to like when you see something that's a Nike brand, you see the check, you know it's Nike.
That's all you got to see.
You see the Apple, you know it's Apple. You ain't got to say, oh, that's the Apple brand or that's the Nike brand. So like we were talking about earlier, when people see that M, I want the world to know that's Mudville. You know what I'm saying? So my dog is the one that's put me on game with how to brand myself. So everything, I've been putting the M on everything, like my boxes, my packaging, like everything, because when that goes from hand to hand, like when I ship a box, everybody that touches that, I want them to see that, you know, processing the orders, the shipper to the person who delivers it.
A to Z.
A to Z. I want everybody to see that and question what is that and want to research it, so that way they can come back to my page or see whatever it is that I'm doing and be like, that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always put these quotes out on posts, and, you know, when I put stickers up and I put Mudville the world or Mudville everything, that's what I'm doing. I'm Mudvilling the world. I'm Mudvilling everything. I want the world to know what that M stands for. So
I one day at a time, and that's some G shit, man. That's some like G-ass shit, is giving credit where credit's due. I haven't met him yet, but I do know there's people that take all the credit. And no, like when you get to another level, you need good people around you,
Man.
and you need, more important than not, people that will better you. Because one thing I did I'm on this journey just like you, because I'm no angel either, but I've wanted to change my life. But I noticed it also started with my circle. I needed to. We still homies, we still friends. Love you guys to death, but
You gotta love some people from a distance.
exactly. Right. And I'm starting to surround myself with people that are like, if any, like making me do better, or like I see what they're doing, I'm like, okay, you motivated me.
Right.
And it's not even brand. It's almost like man, this guy's going to the gym every day. I need to go to the gym. I'm like, hey man, this guy's he doesn't get mad a lot. Like he's very chill and calm. Like I need to do like some BS be happening. He's like, chill, bro, it's good. I'm
Yeah,
like,
because it doesn't matter what it is they're doing. You know what it is? It's seeing that discipline in people.
discipline.
It's seeing that discipline in people to achieve their goals. Whatever their goal is, when you see somebody hungry for it, like you know you're hungry for whatever it is that you want, you have to surround yourself with lions that are out there on the chase. Like if you gonna be a lion, you gotta run with lions. Like, you know, like that's just how it goes. You can't walk around with sheep and expect to be a lion. It's not gonna happen.
I love that. And running around in the jungle or in the mud, you've collabed with a lot of people, a lot of organizations, a lot of brands. You've done toy drives. I know you mentioned that you've even helped the homeless, where you've brought your kids, and I've even seen you've even done like some lip gloss type of thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like everything. I'm like, that's cool. You know, you dabble in just about. Do they reach out to you? Do you reach out to them? How does this all work?
So the whole lip gloss thing.
Yeah.
Shout out Nisi with Nisi Cosmetics. Go
Shout-
see my girl if you need that hookup with the cosmetics. But that's a good friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that happened naturally. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how we got started on talking about it, but it just kind of flowed, and we were just like, you know what? Let's do it. Like, that'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? Because she got her whole following and her whole people, you know, and I got mine. And I was like, that would just be something so dope because it's unexpected. It's not something people would see coming. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking at your history and I was like, oh shit. Like, man, this time, like the bikes, you even like, I've seen like, wow, man, it's really cool.
Yeah, I try to touch bases on everything, man. Like, I really try to be diverse. Cause when I first came in the game, you know, I'm from the hood, so I was on some hood shit. Everything I did was like, it was street, like strictly street. And it took me a while before it started resonating with me that I gotta be a little bit more diverse. I gotta go outside my comfort zone, you know, because everything was like red, black, gray, white, like, you know what I'm saying? Your typical hood colors, you know 100%. What I'm saying? And it was hard for me at first because, you know, to go into more things that had like a feminine side, a softer side, you know, because I'm like, I'm not soft. I'm gonna put out something soft for you, you know what I'm saying? So when I got to that point where I realized that was important to tap in with other genres of people, like, that's what I think really was another milestone for me too, because it was kind of like a light bulb went off. Like, if you really want to grow, you got to be able to tap in with different groups of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where that came from.
And adapt with the times.
Exactly. So that whole cosmetic like
line
that helped me a lot with, you know, with me doing more female stuff, you know, so that was...
It got more eyeballs on you, and that's what I noticed brands have to do, but market and collab with people, because especially with this podcast thing, I could talk to myself, I guess, or talk to the camera, but I don't think it'd be as interesting.
Right,
but I'm genuinely a curious ass person. I'm very I'm a deep thinker,
right?
And like I kind of know, why does he do that, or how did he do that, or like what's his story. I believe everybody has a story,
right? And
so in doing this, not only am I learning, but I feel like the people watching this learn too, because I get most of my DMs, and like go figure, you know, because it's always the people that don't know that are like your biggest supporters,
right?
Show so much love to me, like, bro,
right.
That was dope. Like, hey man, you helped me with this. Hey man, that was, I really liked how you did that. And I'm like, that's love, man. I don't know who you are, right. But I hope in some future or sometime we can have a drink together, yeah. Something, man.
And it's for me, like, I know people probably don't realize this, but I do get those messages sometimes that are like random from people that'll be like, bro, like, I really love what you're doing. Like, you putting on for the city, you know, like you're dope, man. Like, just keep pushing. And one of my biggest pet peeves is not responding to people because, like we said, we dealt with that in the beginning, right? So I make it a due diligence to respond to everybody.
Man.
I don't care how busy I am. I don't care if I'm at work swamped. I don't care if I'm like up to my shoulders in orders trying to process something. Like, I'll stop and I'll respond to people because my supporters are who made me. And without them, I wouldn't be shit. And I know that. So what is it for me to take 30 seconds, a minute or something to respond to somebody and be like, you know what, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, that made my day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that is important to me because I don't ever want people to look at me and be like, oh, he thinks he's too big now, or because I'm never going to be that. I'm never going to be that. I don't give a shit if I got 1 million followers one day. I'm going to always keep it 100 with the people that was there and, you know, put on for me because I wouldn't be at that point if it wasn't for them. So it's stupid important for me to reach out to everybody that hits me, whether it's a simple thank you or I appreciate it or whatever. Like, that's vital. That's major.
I love that, man. So all the supporters go tap in.
I know my phone's gonna be crazy when I get out of here now.
So, in all the collabs you've done, which one was your favorite? Can you talk about that, or was it the lip gloss, or was that the favorite product you pushed out? Or which one was it?
You know what? I can't really say that any of them were specifically my favorite because
which one stands out to you?
They were all important in a different type of way, you know, because I mean, I've even done collabs with other Stockton brands. I've done collabs with the makeup. I've done collabs with my actual printer where, you know, everything that I've done has some sort of importance or it was some sort of milestone in what it is that I did. So for me, it's like, I can't really say this one's more important over the other because at that point in time, the importance that it had was meaningful at that time. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I appreciate everybody who's even willing to do something with me. You know, it's love. And that's what I love about my platform that I have now is the fact that I have people who may be out there that might want to touch bases with me and do a collab, and maybe they feel intimidated, or maybe they might feel like they're not up to par yet, or because they're starting out or whatever. It's like, tap in with me, man. Let's do something. If, you know, whether it be, let's work, because if anything I can do help you or game you to make you hit your next level or make you reach some sort of milestone in whatever it is that you're trying to do, like, that makes me feel good to know that I was a part of that, you know? So, I mean, it's all love, every single direction.
So if somebody wants to collab with you, they just got to tap in?
They just got to tap in, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I know everybody starts somewhere. Yeah. Everybody, you know, has a dream. Everybody might not know where to start. So for me, it's like, if you tap in with me and you just starting out, cool, let me game you on what you need to do to get where you want to go. You know, like when people tap in with me, I ask them what their goals are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll talk to people and ask them questions so that way I know where their headset is at. I want to know what it is you're trying to accomplish. Because if I know what you're trying to accomplish, then I know what game to give you. You know? It's not just like, I'm going to just keep it dry and just tell you whatever it is.
Just generic info.
No, I'm going to tell you whatever it is for what you're trying to accomplish, you know? So if you want to work, let's work. You know, even if it ain't something that we necessarily put out that has both our names on it, I'll collab with you in the sense that I'm helping you put out your next dope product, you know, whatever it may be.
I got a question. Do you think the clothing business is oversaturated? Like, if somebody wanted to start today and come out with their own line, do you think like there's too much competition right now, or do you think anybody can, with the right moves, can like stand out and be the?
I think, and this, I get asked this a lot, but in kind of a different format. Like, people ask me in regards to other brands and stuff like that, as far as like, do I feel other people are competition? You know, I feel like if you're coming in the game and you are trying to mimic somebody, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have originality, eventually people are gonna see what it is you're doing.
Like if you just copy and paste, right?
Right. People, this is where I say you got to come in this and have a passion for it. When you have a passion for something, the results are always different. When you just come into something because you see somebody else doing it and you're like, ooh, I'm going to make money like him. You're trying to make a quick buck. That's going to come off in what it is you're doing. But when you're passionate about something, you have a love for something, your creativity overpowers everything because you love that shit. So for me, it's like I don't look at other people that do clothing as a competition. I look at it as art. If they're passionate about it, their piece is their piece. It's not going to compare to mine. I can be the same value as yours. My shirt could be worth just as much as your shirt or whatever it is that you dropped, but it has its own value in the sense that that's your creativity, that's your vision. This is my creativity, this is my vision. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no comparison in it.
No.
As far as being competitive, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of people that I see that put out dope shit, and I'm like, man, he's raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ebonics apparel, right? This dude go crazy with his designs, his colors, like the stuff that he drops. And I've hit him on several occasions, like, bro, you raw, like you dope. You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to Ebonics.
yeah, and it's like, I love seeing that because he has an originality to him where he makes his own wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he
yeah.
ain't got to jump on nobody else's wave or worry about what anybody else is doing. He's doing him, and I feel like his shit is dope. You know what I'm, and that's gonna appeal to the people that he fucks with, the people that are in his, you know, like. But to me, I love seeing that, and it's like other people might look at it like, oh, hey, that's competition. Like, oh, you know, his shit's doper than mine. Or like, oh, nah, don't be like that. Like, show love to people. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the art because there's a million valuable, priceless art pieces in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why do you have to make it a competition between this one, which one's worth more? Nah, just appreciate it. You know, like, simple.
We want everybody to eat. It just doesn't have to be at our table.
Right. Just don't take it off my plate.
And I believe nothing is oversaturated because if you're good enough, like the people are gonna see that, and like I genuinely believe if you have more business with somebody, it's because you're better, like straight up. And one example of that is I see, and maybe my Stockton 209 people know exactly, especially Lodi, because the taco trucks.
Oh yeah,
taco trucks. There's like 20 of them
everywhere.
but everybody's got their favorite.
Exactly.
And it might not even be
and
Mexican.
and it won't even be the same ones.
Exactly.
I'll be like, oh no, this one's the best one, and they'll be like, nah, this one, yeah. So.
But I've seen taco trucks come. Like there's an example of there's this black one that just opened up. It's not just opened. It's been there a minute. On Cherokee and Kettleman.
Cherokee and Kettleman.
Tequileros.
Oh, okay.
They just opened up a restaurant, I think, in Stockton. I could be wrong, but I know they opened up a restaurant, and they came in the game, and boom, like they're they're the most popular one in Lodi, I think. But it's their branding. You see their social media page, your mouth waters.
Right.
And none of these guys did that, and I'm just like, man, this guy really came in here and like, you know, made his own storm. But I feel like
that's huge.
That's huge.
Marketing's huge
and
it's
good
important.
for him. Exactly. And good. And you know, is one thing he does that not a lot of these other ones do. DoorDash.
Oh.
DoorDash and you know, like delivery. The delivery.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times I wish the taco truck would have pulled up at my house so I didn't have to go drive to it.
Exactly. Now, this is more like a personal question because you're a Stockton native, and since we're on the subject of food,
Born and raised.
So give me your. I'm not too familiar with Stockton. Give me like your top 3 restaurants. The one thing I love you guys got is your guys' pho. Your guys' pho is fire out there. But Lodi don't got it like that. But what are 3?
It's crazy. I just got turned on to pho. Like,
what?
I never had pho until maybe I think it was like mid last year. We went to. I did a shoot at my boy's shop. Shout out my boy Jeff. He let me use his shop for a photo shoot, and afterwards, he was like, "Let's go get something to eat." And I was like, "All right, what y'all feeling like?" He was like, "Oh, I know this bomb fuzz spot," and I was like, "Pho? What the fuck is pho?" You know?
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, "Just trust me, let's go." I was like, all right. So we slid over there, you know, and my girl knew what it was, so she was excited because she likes it, whatever. And I'm just like, well, can you explain to me like what I'm eating? I don't, you know, but it was bomb. I ain't gonna lie. I was mad. I never had it before, but it was good.
Damn,
yeah,
you
but
lay on that
I
one.
was super late because I had no idea what that shit was.
Because you guys got a bunch of them.
Yeah, they're all over and I hear people talking about it, but I'm like, what is it? Like, I don't, you know, taco truck is my shit. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up on the south side of Stockton where that's the home of the taco trucks. You feel me? So that's like, I could eat it 4 or 5 days a week and I'll never get tired of it. It don't.
Give me one. Give me either the name or the address. I need to pull up.
The one that I knew that was like my spot my entire life, or I should say my childhood.
Yes.
Was and forgive me because I do not speak Spanish, so my pronunciation is horrible. But it's El Gruyense.
El Gruyense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was my spot. It was the one that was in the empty parking lot right across the street
Is it still
from
there?
Bank of America on Charterway. Well, now they actually have took the lot, revamped it, and built an actual like it's a building shaped like a taco truck.
Really?
Yes. And
But
then they
it's a
have
dine-in?
it's not a dine-in. You still go through the drive-through and you order, but they have the truck still on the side too. But like that was one of the main ones that we all fucked with. Was at least I did growing up. You know what I'm saying? That was my spot. But
Give me a restaurant where I could take out my lady. Like, you know, date night.
restaurants, and I mean, everybody from Stockton has their favorites on where they like to go. But all-time favorite for me is Nana's. Nana's will always be
Right there next to the water.
yeah.
Yep.
Nana's will always be a spot for me that I'll never say no to. If somebody's like, "You want to go to Nana's?" Like, let's go.
Last one. Like maybe somewhere I could pull up with the homies.
Let me think.
Don't say Buffalo Wild Wings.
You know what? I'm not really like. I mean, wings are cool. You know, when I've kind of got dried out with other stuff, but I'm not a huge wings fan. But another spot is one of my favorites. Yeah. Another spot would have to be GK, Genghis Khan, the Mongolian barbecue, where they cook the
noodles you give them to them like raw,
and everything,
and then they put it in that big ass circle. Yeah,
that's another one of my favorites that I'll probably never say no to if somebody says let's slide. That's
and that's all you can eat, huh?
Yeah. So that and there's an art to it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people when they go there, they're like, how am I gonna fit all this on my bowl? You know, like there's a art to how you pack your bowl, because
Spit the game.
When you pack your bowl, right, and they cook it, it shrinks. So it's not even nothing of compared to, like, you can think it's a lot, but then they cook it and I'm like, that ain't shit. What the hell? So for me, I take my meat and I put it at the very bottom, right? Because they have the slices of meat. It's like pork, chicken, beef, all that. It's like they look like little frozen chips of meat. I take all my meat, put it at the bottom, right? And then I go and get all my veggies, whatever I'm gonna put in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put all that on top of the meat. A lot of people get the meat, and then they put their noodles, and then they try to put all their veggies and all their shit on top of the noodles, and it falls off. You know what I'm saying? So if you get your meat first, skip the noodles, go get your veggies, then you put your noodles on top and you push it down. You compress it. So your noodles hold everything in place, right? So once you compress it, you can fit more noodles on top, so where you can pile it up at a good height. Then you take it and you put all your sauces and your flavoring, all your seasonings and all that shit, hand it to dude to cook. So when you actually get it cooked, you get a full decent sized bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't tell you, oh no, you can't keep putting more on top. If you can fit it in that bowl, they're going to give it to you. So there's an art to that. You have to learn how to pack your bowl right.
Hey, shout out to you, man. You putting us on game. Hey, that's a good quote. Pack your bowl right.
Pack your bowl right.
You potheads know what I'm talking about. Nah. Speaking of quotes, I found this one that it really, like, I loved it, and I kind of just want you to elaborate, but I'm going to read it out to the people real quick. Conscience is the ability to be aware of that negativity, but not enabling it to have the influence on who you are, how you react, and the choices you make. You cannot control everything around you, but you have the ultimate power to control everything within you. Allow your thoughts, your emotions, your character, and actions to be dictated by anything other than yourself is the ultimate form of slavery.
Exactly.
That's deep, man. And I love that because I'm a big advocate for don't fold to the victim mentality.
Right.
Like no matter how hard life gets, like it's gonna be all right, man. Like having faith and work like doing your best. Like I've never seen somebody work really, really hard on themselves and it not work out.
Right.
It's genuinely people that seem most miserable is the ones that threw in the towel.
And I think it comes, like you said, a lot of people will fall victim to their circumstances. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, well, I had a hard life. You don't know what I've been through, or I did this and this happened to me. And like everybody goes through some kind of hardship. Everybody goes through some kind of struggle. You might compare it to yours and be like, well, that wasn't as bad as what I went through. But you don't know what that did to that person mentally. You don't know what it did to that person emotionally. Not everybody has the same emotional, mental strength as the next. You know what I'm saying? Something small for that person could be equivalent to something that was major for this person, and it still beats them up in the same way. So for me, it's like you got to take whatever it is that you went through and you got to realize what happened. I'm not saying accept it. I'm not saying put it in your past and let it go. But what I'm saying is let that help you grow from it. Let that help you learn that things happen. But if you sit there and you dwell on it, if you sit there and you bury yourself in that sorrow, where are you ever going to go? How are you ever going to see that light? If you sit down in that darkness, of course it's never going to get better because you sitting in that darkness. But if you get your ass up and you walk through and look for that light, you're going to find it. You know what I'm saying? It might not be right then and there. You might still go through some shit. You might go through some pain. You might go through some more struggle. But if you have that forward movement, things are going to get better. If you stay in a positive light, positive mentality, things are going to get better because at the end of the day, no matter what shit somebody says about you, no matter what, things people project on you, you are a reflection of yourself, how you feel about yourself. If you're a positive person and you keep things in a positive light and you keep that positive mentality and you're like, no, I'm going to achieve this goal. I'm going to get to this. I'm going to do that. Then you're going to do it because at the end of the day, nobody's going to stop you from getting to where you want to go but you.
I'm a big believer in the laws of attraction. It's very important to have a positive mindset and a positive energy or aura around you.
Right.
Because if you're always like that person that's down, negative, you're going to attract those people. Because
it infects.
Misery loves company,
Exactly.
And so it's, if you're like in a dark hole or like a dark time in your life, like reach for that light,
right.
And then, and also be honest and evaluate yourself. Because I feel like most people know what they need to do to better themselves,
right?
But they just won't do it. It's not a information problem. I call it. It's always like an action problem. People are just scared to take action.
Because I think people fear the difficulty in stuff,
the struggle.
I think they fear that the hardship that they're gonna go through to try to get there might make it worse, but what's worse than staying where you're at, staying stagnant in that negative darkness? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the worst possible thing you could do is staying there.
It reminds me of this quote, like everybody's heard. Is like there's two types of problems. There's wealthy problems and there's poor people problems. What kind of problems do you want? And I'm like, man, I've been poor and I've struggled and I didn't have 2 dimes to rub together. I'm like, all right,
I'll take the wealthy
I'll take the wealthy problems, man. I'll take the investing, the L's, all that.
Right.
Because, man, not even having money to eat sometimes or just struggle. Like, nah, I've been there, done that.
And it's like you don't ever want to go back to it.
No.
If you've dealt with it and you've come from it, like you just don't want to be there. It's funny because my grandpa, I've always been a hustler since a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what it is that it was just, I was born with it or what, but my family laughs at me because since a kid, I just had this hustler mentality. Like I used to go around the neighborhood with my grandpa's lawnmower. I think I was like 7, 8 years old, trying to mow everybody's lawn. You know what I mean? I would give them a price, and if they were like, "Oh no," I would lower the price. Just because I was trying to get that sale. And
were you trying to work towards something, or you just wanted the money?
No, I always had goals of things that I wanted. I mean, I can't necessarily remember what it is I was trying to get to at that point in time, but. I mean, I went as far as like, I don't know if you've ever seen those trees in the neighborhood where mistletoe would grow on the tree. Like we had these trees on my block where mistletoe grew on the trees
for Christmas.
So Christmas time, I would climb the trees and I would pull the mistletoe. I would get these little cellophane bags, put them in a bag with a little red ribbon. I'll go door to door trying to sell little things of mistletoe for people during Christmas time. Like, this one, you're gonna laugh at this one, but when I think I was in 5th grade maybe, and I stacked my lunch money one time, and when we went grocery shopping with my parents at Food for Less, I snuck and I bought those little food scales that they used to sell. You could weigh your food and stuff like that. So I bought me a little food scale, and I bought me the little tub of Kool-Aid. Back in the day, the ice cream man used to sell, I think it was called like, I forget what it was called, but it had like 3 flavors of powder and a white stick, and you can dip them in the flavor. And so that was like popping when I was in school. That was the shit. So I had this bright idea where I went and grabbed a big thing of Kool-Aid, and I balled them up in grams and little baggies.
I see where this is going.
You feel me? And I took them in my backpack at school, and at the end of the school day, I would sell the little balls of Kool-Aid to the little kids, and I was maybe like at least a good 2 weeks straight I was doing it. Slanging and Kool-Aid. I made cool money. I was, for me, I was like I think I was in 5th grade or something like that, making like 20, 25 bucks a week off of these little things of Kool-Aid until a parent seen me and thought I was selling dope at school. And then I got pulled in and got suspended for 2 days, and my parents was like, "Where the hell did you get this bright idea from?" But for me, I've always had some sort of way to try to hustle. Like, it's just been in me, you know what I'm saying? So it's just funny when I look back on it, because my grandpa, he always says, like, no matter whoever is with Jimmy, like, you're never gonna go hungry, because that boy, he will get it no matter what, and that's just stuck with me since I was a kid. So, like, just that hustling mentality to just do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to always want more. It's just always been in me.
And I feel like older people are more likely to see that. Like, older people can, like, they lived it. They live life. So I feel like they capture on traits that I think we don't. I think it's not until we get older.
Right.
Because I go back to, like, my mothers are so good at reading people, and I feel like older people, they're so good. Like, it's
because they've been through that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's almost like deja vu. They see over
exactly.
Like, damn, I remember I went through that exact situation.
Hey, Jimmy, thank you so much. And I have a question, man. Like, so what's next for Mudville? What do you have in store this year? We're in the start of 2nd quarter, Q2. We're in month 4. What do you have big plans and goals?
Right now is my spring season. Yeah. So I got all kinds of spring stuff already loaded in the chamber, ready to go. One thing about me is a lot of people don't see this part of it, but like, I can already have drops that I've posted out, and I've like, okay, this is coming here, this is coming, whatever. But I already got other stuff already lined up after that, ready to go. Like, I'm constantly in go mode. Like, I'm working with my manufacturers or whatever, like, where I got things in process ready to jump. And for me, it's not necessarily a goal for this year, but I am working on eventually. I know I said I never probably would, just because I've always been comfortable in what I'm doing, but I do want to have my own spot that people can walk into one day.
Brick and mortar?
Yeah. And I want it to be like, not just a spot where people can come shop, but I want it to be a whole vibe where people can, even come kick it. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I have music playing or some screens going, a place where people feel like comfortable, like, this is a cool little spot to come. Even if it's like, youth or high school kids, or somewhere that is maybe by a school where it gives a safe place for somebody to
We need more of those.
Yeah, like, I just feel like there's not really a lot in Stockton where people can come and vibe and feel safe, where it's like, you know, it has an all around of different things that are available for people, you know. And before, I never really thought that I wanted that, or, you know, even just to have a store, period. But it's just been more and more on my mind heavy that, you know.
What sparked the interest or the? You said you never, so now for you to say you will,
so,
was it something? Was it a personal encounter?
It comes back to my boy Garrett again, man. Like I really gotta say this dude's been like a major inspiration in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I like shout out to him, because I don't really think, I tell him like, dog, like, you know, you motivate the shit out of me, but I don't really think he understands like the heavy influence that he's put on me and what I want to do with my business. Because, you know, we've talked a lot about different types of things that we want to do. Like we've discussed programs about, you know, how we want to help people also grow, because he's got that same mindset that I do, where it's not about we trying to make money off of people. Like we really want to help people grow. We really want to gain people to better themselves in whatever they're trying to do in their entrepreneurship journey. You know what I'm saying? So, man, he's big ups to him, because he's caused me to go in a completely different direction with my brand. And
he's made you level up.
Yeah, he's forced me to level up a lot, and I love him for that, man, because it's like every day we have a conversation. I don't talk on the phone much. Like, I'm not a talker. I'll send a quick text like, what's up, can you whatever. Me and that man will be on the phone for like 2 hours.
That says a lot.
We just chop it up about all these dreams and aspirations and our goals that we're trying to do and what we're trying to put in play to accomplish them. So he's been a major influence in my life for sure.
And those are the best conversations to have. Prior to me getting myself on this journey too, I used to have conversations about nothing. By that I mean just like shows, the past, games, drama. Like some celebrities don't even know we exist. You know, like just bullshit.
Yeah.
And now when I talk to people, it's either, hey man, let's link up to talk about ideas, business,
conversations that have value.
Exactly, and that's very important.
It's very important.
And I advise anybody that's looking for a little bit of motivation, inspiration, that's really putting it on for the 209. Tap in with the homie Jimmy, man. You've heard it here, man.
Yeah.
The rawness, the realness. Hey,
It's
man,
all love, man.
It's all love, man. And I just gotta thank you, G. Thank you for coming out here, man.
Like,
and
appreciate you for having me.
You gave a lot of game to the people, man. And with that being said, man, this is episode 10. So shout out to you guys, man. Thank you, man.
Another milestone.
Another milestone. All right, later, raza. Peace.
Deuces.